Give me a specific example of a time when you sold your supervisor or a professor on an idea or a concept. How did you proceed and what was the result? I don't know about professor or a supervisor, but I'll give some examples. I was always kind of a entrepreneurial spirit. When I look back, that's what I can conclude. For example, when I was working in Japan as a host on board, I had my superiors mentioned that they need some other dance group to bring on board. They had American dance group, which was made out of American and British dancers, and they had Russian adagio couple coming on board, an Indian yoga teacher, and different performers, and Polish band. And prior to that contract, I was working in a bar, and bar staff was mainly European. I don't know, waiters in the dining room mainly from Philippines, and so on. And what they told me, they need to some more. So I saw a chance to act, as I knew I had when I was a little child. I was living in Zagreb, and I know that one of my neighbors is at the time was when that was happening in Japan. He was agent for different dancers and singers in Croatia. So I saw a chance to connect those two, help my company, and well, get Croatian dancers to come to work and present us. Yeah, I managed to get a meeting with that agent. However, shortly after that, and I brought a tape, which I need back. As shortly after, well, we didn't make any progress, but so I went back to the ship without making that happen. Or another example, when I was working as a sommelier, I had a family of guests, I don't know, a dozen of them, where I spoke to them during dinner time, and that was one of my joys, to speak to the guests. And service on cruise ships is a bit different. When you don't have other things to take care of, you engage the guests and speak to them. Although you need to be trained and educated for something like that. And that kind of service brings everything to a higher level. Yeah, so I spoke to them, and they said they were from Russia, and they said they have some business near Vladivostok, and I did visit Vladivostok prior to that, and also Kamchatka, that part of Russia. I spoke to them, and in our conversation they told me about their business, and they mentioned that they have Siberian oak forests somewhere there in Siberia. What happened? Light bulb immediately went on in my head, as I have some close people here who are in ship making industry out of wood, and their business, what I know, was not so great. So I saw a chance to help them to get that, connect those people with them, and go into wine making, wine barrel making. As wine barrels are a pretty big thing, and that's in the wine industry, it's a pretty big factor. The thing with wine barrels is that oak, we all know that French and American oak is well established in the market, and from what I know, French oak is relatively expensive. American is well known as well, and then also we have some Slavonian oak, which is known, and many Italian winemakers are using it. However, Siberian oak is not really used, and I saw a chance there to connect those things and go with that. you know, oak is best when the grains are small, and where are the grains small, where it's cold weather because it's growing slowly. And then where is colder weather than in Siberia. They didn't take me seriously at that time. That's a shame, because I think that's a great idea. And if any of you entrepreneurs are listening and you see a chance to use that idea, please. But those are well, examples where I didn't sold an idea. There was a time when I was brought to an investor for a corporation, and we had a few days, and he was coming from another country, so I showed him around our beautiful island. I took him for a boat ride, and also I showed him some potential projects. And what I believe sold him on to go into business with me was that, well, I thought I saw that maybe some people spoke highly of me, and then I believe what prevailed was my enthusiasm for the job. And the result of that was that first part of investment came shortly after. Later on, things were happening, and almost immediately after, the communication deteriorated from that side so much that I felt that I don't have any support there. Yeah, but anyway, you know, going into that first job, it was my biggest thing that far. I didn't have really support as per going into it, as that part of land was not open view to the sea, and didn't have many, but my vision was so strong that I went into it, and it's a shame that we didn't go, that we didn't conclude. Anyway, or you know, I speak about my ideas freely many times, and once I had a friend who was in a restaurant business, and I was very enthusiastic about the wine, and I was talking about it a lot. I suggested to him to expand the wine list, and he agreed with me. But his superiors were against it, and they even came to, you know, tell me why I'm firing him up for that. But I'm not only enthusiastic, I looked at different levels, and I think and thought then that that's good for their business. Anyway, I heard that later on wine list did get expanded. Yeah, and not only wine list, but I believe beer also. Another time when I heard my idea that went forward, I spoke to a person about idea of making a virtual reality of places of our island, to present it online as touristic attraction. And that time that was very rare. We didn't have Google Earth yet. And well, I saw that idea being done. That person told me that I distinctly remember that I spoke to him about it, but he said that he saw that fit when some of his friends who were doing web design. Yeah, okay, fine. Usually, you know, if in a situation like that, okay, that might have, you know, maybe he didn't register me, and then I always look from benefit of a doubt. So what I can think in that situation that happened is that maybe he didn't register me very much when I was talking about it, and then somehow shortly after he found a friend who is doing that, and that idea came to. to life. Is it likely? I don't know. Anyway, so entrepreneurial spirit, very much.